Hi, my name's Susan Davis. I've been an event and wedding designer for about 31 years now, and I have a real passion for teaching and trying to demystify the process of floral design for people. So welcome to my bouquet tutorial. I have multiple ways that I make bouquets. Today I'm going to show you my go-to method, which is the spiral or the tap turn method, as we call it. And it is my go-to. I use a lot of different kinds of bouquet style methods. I use a lot of different tools, but this one is the one I find myself drawn to the most because it gives you the cleanest and the best base for your bouquet. It is really the proper way, so to speak, to design a bouquet, and it can also be used for vase arrangements as well as bridesmaids, attendants, any kind of carry bouquet. Today I'm going to use bind wire from Oasis, and I'm going to be using the Oasis cutters. I use all different things to do my bouquet. Sometimes I'll use tape, sometimes I'll use wet tape, sometimes I'll use rubber bands and bind it tape. But this is the way that I find myself gravitating to the most. So, but in the future videos, I'm going to show you all different ways. Today I'm doing an all white bridal bouquet for the bride that I have going out the door in a few minutes. So I saved it so that I could share it with you guys. And so here we go. I want a gardeny bouquet without a lot of volume. So one of the ways I could have done this was by using chicken wire. But what I am going to do instead of that is use a multiple variety of greenery and also to recess my stems so that I can get a lot of movement at the top. So I'm using some seeded eucalyptus, which right now it's summer, so it's cupped, so it's not my favorite. I also have some Italian ruscus that I'm going to grab and put in there. I'll be cutting my Italian ruscus into smaller pieces because I'm really not looking to get a lot of greenery in the bouquet, but I do want something that's going to give me some density. And when I say I mean some width or density, what I mean by that is that I want to put the greenery in between the flowers so that when my next stem is on the floral or going in, it's not smushed up. Okay, I hate that. I just don't like it when stuff is all smushy. All right, so let's get started. I need to start with a center to my bouquet that's probably not going to be seen much. So on my property, I grow mock orange. I grow a lot of different things. I have about an acre. I'm not a gardener. I'm not a farmer, but I really, really love to grow whatever's really easy. So this is mock orange. You can buy this. You can buy it from Holland on Hollex or from your wholesaler. It smells amazing. It's got a great scent. And so what I do is I'm going to start with a centerpiece because I'm probably not going to see this, even though it would normally be like a flower that might have some more value. I'm going to put it in the center of my bouquet. I'm going to bring down some greenery really, really low, just like that. I'm always going to keep my stuff stripped. I know for you wonderful florists, a lot of you wonderful florists always bring your stuff together and have it really clean, but I'm not always like that. So just a heads up, if you get my videos, you're going to see the real deal, the way that I really do things. So I find it works for me. Sometimes I'm just grabbing things as I see them. I'm creating sort of a center for the bouquet, and I tied it off just so that it's almost like one bloom. I think I'm also going to add in a piece of Queen Anne's lace here, just to kind of cover up that green and again give me a nice textured center. We're not going to see this center, so it's not that important to me that it's completely perfect. But as I build my bouquet, especially the styles that are more gardeny right now, we're looking at styles that have a recessed center, okay? In the middle, it's going down, and then it's coming up. So when this spiral technique you can use to make a really nice rounded topped bouquet, or you can use it to do, you know, a bouquet that any shape really that you want. I even use it for my cascading bouquets, which will be in future videos. I'll show you some cascades. But this bouquet style, the technique itself can be used to really create any kind of shape that you want. All right, so we're gonna start. Everybody always asks me, why do you tap? Why do you tap? The reason that I tap in my shop, and I don't do it when I'm doing it by myself because I've been doing it for so many years now, but for the first 500 of these that you do. It's really great. Or if you're teaching your shop to do it, if this video you purchased to, share with your shop to teach them. The reason I suggest that they tap is that they're always cognizant all the time of getting the angle, okay? So you have a straight line piece, even if it's one flower, and then you have your second flower, and you're gonna tap it at an angle so that you come in behind the bouquet, all right? See, come in behind the bouquet at that angle and place it, okay, just like that, all right? So I'm tapping at an angle, I'm placing it in the bouquet, and I'm going a little bit higher. That's a Playa Blanca rose. These are freaking amazing. You guys have to get these. If you're not using Playa Blanca and you're buying more expensive garden roses, you don't have to. In my opinion, Playa Blanca gives you just equally the beauty of any garden rose, and it's about 1/3 the price. So anyway, I'm tapping, I'm placing a little higher, and then I'm doing a quarter turn, okay? And I'm gonna continue that process as I go through. And each time that I do this, I'm gonna be grabbing a different style floral, okay? So I have some astrantia here. This is a really good filler. My style tends to be super gardeny, lots and lots of texture. That's the kind of bouquets that I like, but you can do this technique with anything. So I take my astrantia, I'm tapping at the angle, I'm placing a little bit higher, okay? Quarter turn. Same thing again. I'm gonna take another Playa Blanca, I'm gonna tap it at an angle, I'm gonna place it a little bit higher. I hope you guys can see that. Most important, and I'm gonna drill this through you over and over again. We don't want our flowers mushed. That's not how they grow. It's not attractive. It doesn't give any movement to the bouquet when people are carrying it. And it doesn't let each flower show off. So whether you're stacking this way or this way, you're always using steps, okay? Higher, start here, go here, go here, all right? So nothing's at the same angle. So it's tap, place a little bit above, another quarter turn. Now I want a different bloom shape. I don't want the same shape again. So I'm gonna grab some of this mock orange that I have back here. Actually, I'm gonna save this stem because this is really good for an external stem. She does not want this bouquet enormous. So I won't use an enormous bloom. So here is our Lizzie Anthus. Lizzie comes every time you get it. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. But one of the things I love about Lizzie is that you can almost get the look of a butterfly ranunculus if you reflex these really teeny blooms. So, and you always want to make sure that you get that pollen out of the middle so that you're not getting that on your girls. But look at that, how pretty. That went from being, sort of a flat one of these, okay, to a really pretty almost butterfly ranunculus. Tap, place, a little higher this time so that I'm keeping my depth, quarter turn, all right? I'm gonna keep going. I have a peony here. That's another great garden flower. This is a small one. It looks like it's losing its petal, so I think I'm gonna not do that. They're about finishing now in our area. Let me try this one, that's better. I'm gonna tap, I'm gonna place. I love peony, and I love to use it in bouquets, but I don't love the really big ones unless it's supposed to be a peony, bouquet. That's the purpose of it. All right, so you guys might find your stems getting long. If you don't want to cut them as short as you're actually going to use them, but you can definitely cut so that they become manageable. Now listen, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm sure some of you have as well. Look how pretty that is already. Already, see the movement? I love a bouquet that gives me lots of movement whichever way I hold it. So it's just that depth all the time. Always be thinking foreground, midground, background. I'll be talking about that in my installation part. So I don't always tie off because my hands are kind of strong, my left hand is strong. But if you're finding your hands are getting tired, I flip my bouquet upside down just because it's a better way for me to do it, but you might have your own way. I use this bind wire like string. I don't do too tight because I want to make sure that I keep lots of ability to manipulate my flowers or pull them out. But sometimes if your hands are getting tired, you can just let it go, okay? I don't want you guys, and you'll also hear me repeat this over and over again, the sweating, the struggling, when your hand gets tired, your bouquets are going to show that struggle. So if you feel that's happening, just put it down, cut it up, and start over, okay? Don't overwork things. Just relax and have fun and enjoy it. And once you practice this technique enough, you're going to be able to do it, and your bouquets are going to really show that. So you remember how I said I want to make sure that I'm keeping some volume on the interior? So I'm going to take another piece of this, and I'm just going to tap it. Everything's tap, place, quarter turn. I don't care what you're doing, but the reason you do it is you're going to keep a beautiful spiral, and you're going to keep this ability to move it. The reason I put that Italian ruscus right there was so that when I place my next flower, it's not too close, okay? Now, anemone is such a fun flower. So I got some pretty ones. These are Mistral, so I always like them. They always tend to perform really well. And I'm putting it way out because as the bouquet moves forward, I know I'm going to have more blooms in here. And I really want to see it bounce around and, kind of strut its stuff. The other thing I want you guys to be thinking about when you do this is don't hold your bouquets up so tight. Make sure that you started low enough on your bouquet so that it has openness. And when you're making a big bouquet, you really do have to start lower so that you have the space to build out, okay? All right, so I tapped my anemone in. I'm gonna tap, I'm gonna place, I'm gonna quarter turn. Now I'm gonna use a little bit of this seeded jute because as I see it, I'm seeing a kind of a blob of white in the center, and I really don't want that. I don't want to see these greens so much, but I am using them for the ability to separate my flowers and allow it to look more garden-y, okay? I have another piece of, I think I'm going to use more volume right now again. Again, another Playa Blanca rose. I reflex my roses. You don't have to do that. People worry they're going to, it's going to affect them. But these Playa Blanca are super amazing. They're really, really have a heavy petal. I feel like I'm selling for Playa Blanca. I'm not. Polo is a great rose also if you're looking for a white rose. But I also like to pull the centers of these roses out because I don't know, there's just something super pretty about the middle. So sometimes when I'm doing it, I'm going to do that so that I have this really pretty, really looks like it grew in my garden. Tap, I'm going to place it, okay, and I'm going to quarter turn again. Now this one I brought in a little bit lower because I want to keep my movement going on the bouquet. Place, quarter turn. I'm going to go ahead and put in a nice big piece of Queen Anne's lace. Again, this bride said not too big and make it gardening. Tap, I'm going to place like this. The other thing I want you guys to be thinking about is that you keep your florals facing in, meaning when you put a flower in, you don't want it shooting out that way. We will be talking more and more about that as this series of videos continues. But when you're doing your line, you really want to make sure that your flowers are always pointing me back into the bouquet so that that circle remains. My eye needs to go back into the bouquet. All right, tap, place, quarter turn. Now I'm going to use this beautiful mock orange. You guys, when you're designing, smell your flowers. They're so beautiful. God made them so they smell good. They look pretty. So give them a chance to. Give yourself a chance to enjoy what you do, all right? Because sometimes you're just so stressed out and you're not really enjoying the process. Look how pretty this is. It's already so pretty. See the movement, no matter which way I turn it? The other thing, the reason I love this technique, this spiral technique, I'm tying off just so I can relax and talk to you guys. I don't have to stress. The reason I love this technique is because I really am not a big fan of bouquets that have a front and a back. I love a bouquet that can be seen in multiple angles and it still looks good. I don't like to depend on my brides to hold them in a way that's going to depend on, make me have to depend that they're held correctly. You might want to know why I plopped that back down. I plopped it back down because I just didn't feel like it was going to show because it was going to smash up against that other rose. There's a piece of Veronica or Lismachia. Tap, I'm going to place it. Now you never want to take a Lismachia and put it in deep, okay? Now usually I take all the foliage off of these, but I feel like since she wants it gardeny, it's okay to leave some. So I tapped it, placed it, I quarter turned, okay? You might say, do I have to keep turning? No. There's definitely some people that do this and they'll do 3 blooms and then turn. I don't do that, but you can do that, okay? Here's a beautiful ranunculus. This ranunculus is from last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. It came in really small. I held on to it because I love when they open and their centers start to turn black. I just think they're so pretty. Ranunculus has a super long shelf life, in case you don't know that, depending on it. But look how pretty that is. And I love that center. And I think it looks really cool with the anemone. So tap, I'm going to place, and I'm going to quarter turn. All right, now it's time to get some width in again. I'm feeling like if I place a flower here, it's going to be too tight. Here's another one of my main go-tos. These are white Majolica spray roses. You guys may use them in pink and white. They are heaven. They bloom so pretty. Sometimes they have a little teeny bud. I'll edit my flowers because I feel like, you know, I want them to be beautiful. Don't be afraid to cut something off. If you don't like it, take it off, okay? Don't sweat it. Tap, place. You can always save those little blooms for later. You know, that's fine. I'm just going to cut off the bottom. I'm going to place. I'm going to quarter turn. And now I'm just going to basically continue where I left off. I'm just going to start placing. I'm going to tap. I'm going to place a little higher. I'm going to quarter turn. I'm going to do another. I need a larger bloom. Let's use some of this pretty. You know, now people ask me all the time, how do you know what flowers to use? Are you, do you have a system? No, I just like to use, sometimes I'll cluster my flowers. So sometimes I'll say, I think these flowers need to be clustered, in one section. So I do that sometimes, like I'll do 3 roses together, something like that. But in this case, I just try to go by feel. If I like the way it feels, then I'm happy. That's how I, do things. I do things by feeling. I look at them in the mirror. I know you guys design in the mirror. Look at this. It's just so bouncy. It's so stunning. It's so much fun. That's what you want. Have fun. Don't go crazy. Here's some spirea. Found that in my garden today. So, don't be afraid to forage a little bit. I find that if you, did you see how I forgot to tap. So tap, place, the reason, look at my spiral at the base. This is a perfect, and see why I can do this? I can widen my bouquet, and it's really in great shape. I'm going to put in another anemone because I think it'd be really pretty with this one. So I'm going to tap, I'm going to place it. Okay, I like how they're together. Okay, I'm going to quarter turn in a second, but I'm going to tie off. This bouquet is literally just about finished. And because she wanted it smaller, and I'll show you her bridesmaids bouquets are so pretty. Because she wanted it smaller, I have to be careful not to go nutso with it because it'll be too big. So now I have to be thinking about my side, okay? So there's things that you can use. I just added another piece of greenery so that I could get some height, so that I can get some distance between my flowers. And now I'm going to kind of start to work down just a little bit on the outside. I got this. I have a steel bead. This is Washington. Usually I pull all the greenery off, but this is pretty amusing with steel bead. So this is a great choice right here. But that's going to give me a nice point throw. So it's time to turn it. You guys see how nice my spiral is down there? Practice this. What you want to do is just grab a whole bunch of flowers, okay? Just grab a whole bunch of flowers and keep doing it. As I say, keep on swimming. I think I'm going to put that in. I think I'll wait on that one. What else do I have here? Oh, I have this ranunculus. So now, although I am finishing off, I'm going to continue to just widen it out a little bit. I want to keep cutting the bases so that I'm not hindered. Remember to tie it off if you're getting tired. Don't let your hands get so tired that you're not enjoying yourself. So here's another thing I want to grab, a little bit more hot orange, because I really want, see, although it's not a focal flower, it's nice when you see the side of the bouquet not to see a dead spot. Like that's a dead spot, but that's not, because what happens with that is it just brings my eye back up to the top of the bouquet, all right? If I did this, my eye just stops. Boom. That's what I mean, all right? So I'm going to tap it. I think I'll tie it off again. The more that I sit and talk with you guys, the more that I feel like I need to stop and tie off. Because when I feel a little bit of a cramp in my hand, I know I'm overworking my bouquet. All right, so I'm going to tie this. I'm going to do, see, if I let go of that, look how it opens up so nice. When I actually tie it off, I'll squeeze it in just a little bit to lock it. But right now, I have so much ability to manipulate the flowers, which is really, really what I want. I don't want to be stuck not being able to manipulate what I have. I'm going to use some Queen Anne's lace in deep just to keep my, see, so that it starts to look gardening on the outside. Tap, place, quarter turn. Tap, place, quarter turn. I don't like that. Look at that. It's too dog-eared for me. That's what I call those. It's dog ears. Or just, you know, so I'll probably come around to the outside here and maybe pull this through, which is what I can do now because I have this opportunity at this point in the bouquet to start pulling through the center. And that's what's also really wonderful about doing this style bouquet is that you can, now that it's loose, okay, I can pull a few things through and give it even more bounce and movement. I'm always turning those flowers into the bouquet so that they're not shooting me out. And I'm always making sure that my heights are really different. I don't want things to be dog-eared. I'm gonna go here with this. I don't like that. Let's do a ranunculus. That's gonna, sometimes your ranunculus, see that curve? When I place it, it's gonna hop right on top of those flowers and I really like that. All right, I think I'm just about done this bouquet. I don't think she wants me to go any bigger than this. So I'm gonna, whenever I put that ranunculus, I wanna support it. So I'm gonna put a little bit of green on the outside of that. I wanna clip this off here because I don't want the green to be predominant. I'm going to use a piece of freesia just because I have it here. This is some really pretty freesia, look at that. Double freesia. I shop Hollex a lot through my wholesaler because I find that Holland on some things, especially gold flowers, is great prices. I'll place it, pick off the bottom, make sure my bottom stays clean. You don't want a messy bottom. That was funny. Messy bottom. All right, and then I'm gonna place, make a quarter turn this one. I'm gonna put this in like that. I am done this bouquet. I'm gonna give it one more freesia because I have them. This is where I get in trouble, guys. If I have something, I want to use it. So, which is nice, except sometimes it's just too much, right? Gotta be done. Gotta know when to stop. Gotta know when to quit. All right, this bouquet is finicky. Tying it off with my fine wire. Now I'm gonna do a little bit tighter with this fine wire. I like fine wire because it's covered and it doesn't slice open those flower stems, so they're able to drink some water. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, now see how that's shooting out? That's exactly what I told you I don't want you to do. So I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna turn it, the stem, I'm gonna turn it and make it go in, all right? I don't want, look at the difference between that, all right? And see there's a dead spot. I'm gonna use some Queen Anne's lace. I like to use either stock, Queen Anne's lace, you know, something that's gonna give me, this guy's gonna fight me. All right, there we go. Something that's gonna give me a really good fill without being overwhelming. So I'm gonna use a little of this steel bead right around the sides. It's light, and that's what I love, so that when I look around the side of the bouquet, all my sides are leading me back up to the top. And I'm gonna look at that, right? You guys are my mirror right now. Love, love, so pretty. This guy is consistent. See, you don't tighten it too tight. You can do that. Okay. Tell them what to do. You're the boss. You're the boss. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna tie it off. Probably going to put a little bit more here. I'm going to tie it off, and then you can add your ribbon however you like to do so. Some people like really long ribbon, some people like really short ribbon. What I am going to do is show you that now I'm going to lock it, okay? Which means I'm going to go a little further down in my tie, because now I'm going to demand that they stay where they are. When you've only got that one simple small spot, you know, then you are kind of like, they still have a lot of movement and ability to kind of fly all over the place, which is what you want while you're designing. You don't want to lock your stems so that you hurt them while you're removing them. You don't want to do that. And you don't want to, you just don't want to make it so that you can't keep working your bouquet if you want to. All right, but now I went down further on my stem wrap to here, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is give it one more swing around. Make sure that if my bride holds it, I still feel like that's a little dead right there. So I did save one more piece of mock orange. I'm going to put that in down there at the bottom. That's a lovely bouquet. All right, so I'm going to tie that up one more time. See if I can put anything else in here that I need. This guy's still turning on me. It's okay. Put this in like that. So make sure that all my sides are nice and finished off. Very nice. All right, this is done. So the last thing I want to show you guys is something that I learned from Amy Nicole, and she learned it from Ariel Shazar. And we always did this many years ago, but we went through this long stem phase, which I don't love. So now I'm cutting my bouquets back up super short. And the reason is that this will demand my bride without me having to train her to tilt her bouquet forward, which is what I want. I don't want her to keep this bouquet standing upright. I don't want to see stems. I mean, it's nice if your stems are nice and neat, which is what they should be when you do this technique. They should be super neat on the bottom so that you have a nice clean bouquet. When I demand my stems to be cut short, my bride's going to hold her bouquet like that, which is what I really want. One last look. White bouquet, lots of movement, beautiful assortment of garden flowers. I'll probably spray this off with Crowning Glory, put it in water, add my ribbon to the bottom, and I'm going to head out the door, and hopefully she loves her flowers today. Thanks for watching.